Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Hero Strike, Defender of the Fatherland. We're off here to an exciting 1 vs 1 on Crossroads between the South. We got here Osama bin Laden, we'll just be calling him Uncle Sam. Here fighting for America, freedom and democracy, taking on the role here of the 3rd Armoured Division versus in the north we got Findeed, Finland's finest warrior. Well, technically he's not from Finland, but you know what they say, details. Fighting here for the Wehrmacht though, Germany, Deutschland, taking on the role here of the 2nd Panzer Division, also known as the Vienna Division, aka the Austrian capital of Vienna. Fun fact there, because, well, the division was primarily initially recruited from amongst the Viennese population. We got here elite troops, mobile defense, mechanized assault with infantry, sniper and mortar bulletins versus Osama bin Laden's airborne, armor and rifle company, infantry, anti-tank guns and machine guns, and good lord is it hot here, and stuffy and humid. But not much to do about it, since you can't really have the door open, since otherwise there's going to be interception of noises from the outside, since I live right next to a road. MD-42 there though, versus Rifleman, quickly pushing them back. They can't quite suppress them in this case, Uncle Sam, they just force back. They got guns moving westwards, pioneers moving north, secure points there. Not only medium move there for the fuel by Findeed here. Not only medium move, we got more grenadiers on the way there for Findeed. Rifleman heading westwards there for Uncle Sam, while the rest of his forces move eastwards, secure the territories there for America. MD-42 grenadiers advancing on the centre here, up north, munitions being secured there. Second grenadiers got their almost done, with the 3rd rifle squad there being produced here by Uncle Sam. Western few munitions or point there being secured, and there we go, southern point secured. Almost got the eastern fuel. 3rd rifle squad there almost done. Grenadiers that are eyeing for Findeed. He's so far though not making a specific move there for the fuel point, which does mean Uncle Sam will get a bit of resources ahead there of Findeed. On the other hand, Findeed, well, he's not actually going to get more munitions either. So Findeed in that sense trying to put control over the centre, which is generally always something you think as the Wehrmacht you should be careful about doing. Again, it's something that can easily backfire on you. He also is spreading out his forces too thinly. Also something I'm generally not, a fan of. Pioneers versus Rifleman grenadiers almost got the point there, preventing him from just connecting the western fuel pump, but the problem is just going to further delay Findeed from getting it further, giving an edge here in fuel to Uncle Sam. In fact, he's not even over the grenadiers to support here, so for whatever reasons, Findeed is not very interested in the fuel, which is a bit of an odd thing. Uncle Sam there going for a mortar, 3rd grenadier squad way there for Findeed, heading for the eastern point there. He's going to be running into a lot of irate Americans there as they stand ready for Findeed. Here in the west, fuel point secured there. Pioneers slightly repositioning. Tank traps part wide to defend the CoH point for Uncle Sam and the Americans. Good work there. Mortar out there for Uncle Sam to that way bombard Findeed's forces. Grenadiers there moving to support their further centre. Now he's concentrating, but again, he's not getting good control over the resourcing, and that's basically the big issue with having the centre. Sure, you control the centre of the map, but if you don't have the resources, long term it's not going to matter much, because you're just going to get outdone in terms of tech and armour by your opponent. So again, this is only really just a short-term solution, particularly when your opponent then begins bringing up the mortars. So overall, I'm not entirely sure what Findeed's plan is here. It certainly strikes me as pretty peculiar. And right here, Findeed is certainly committing a bit of another mistake. He is running straight up to Rifleman. I mean, disrespecting the Rifleman is generally a bad idea. The thing to remember about Rifleman versus Grenadiers, up close they have twice as much DPS. So why Findeed was doing that, I'm not sure. It could have been a misclick there, a mistake, just a rule, not a very good move. The Rifleman being suppressed to M42 up close though. Taking a lot of damage there from the MD-42s. There's 1,200 rounds per minute, go straight at their faces. Finally, we got Grenadiers here to help deal with Rifleman. Flamethrower Pioneers joining as well. The Rifleman a bit of trouble there. At the same time, as you can see here, Uncle Sam is very skillfully executing here, flanking against Findeed there, quickly ignoring his strong point here. Very good move there, instead threatening his points behind. So that is, I think, very well done there by Uncle Sam. Certainly putting a bit of a bind there for Findeed rather than being pushed back. Troops are reinforcing. We should be reinforcing. Soon enough. No chance of getting the Rifleman white, but at least he's cutting off his opponent for the fuel. But again, Findeed just hasn't got much fuel in comparison, so he's going to have to do a lot more damage for this really to make any sense for Findeed. I would describe this as a bit of a weak opening for Findeed, to put it mildly. A weak opening, especially because the Americans could sort of very quickly punish you if you're making any sort of mistakes like that if you're not careful. Can't even get there. The re-echelons, then 4-2 taking ages to get hit there, going into a position, of course, now under mortify. In fact, it's very low on health, so right here, retreating the MD-42 would in fact be the best choice there for Findeed. He's got a medic bunker on the way anyway, so just there we go. Get it back before it loses too many men or even gets lost there. Tech up there for Findeed. Grabbing the western fuel point there with hardened German grenadiers of the 2nd Panzer Division. Right-wing westwards there. Right-wing taking into the grenadiers there as well. More grenadiers there arriving to support the 1st Grenadier Squad. Fun fact, being the fighting in Normandy during the Battle for Normandy, the 2nd Panzer Division was actually initially forced to give up its Panther Battalion to support the 21st Panzer Division. It, on the other hand, in return received a Panther Battalion from the 116th Panzer Division Windhund, which did not receive a replacement Panther Battalion from any other Panzer Division. But it sort of highlights just how they sort of viewed the Panther Battalions overall, and again they just sort of passed them out where they needed, just move those divisions they thought needed the Panthers more. So that's a little fun detail there. Grabbing the fuel point there again, with your defense. We've got light mechanized company going up there for Findeed. Troops being healed, reinforced. Here in the center, he's collapsing as well. Focusing stay on the eastern half of the map there as Unclesam there charges forward. He's by going for the captain, which could open up here with the Stuart light tank. Captains are a bit rare, at least this is sort of the first unit choice there for the Americans as of late. I mean, again, the lieutenant sort of that way superseded him, just being better versus infantry, plus of course the M20 and 50 caliber is pretty good choice as well there. Now that the Stuart light tank isn't quite, you know, the end all of German forces, which it used to be, which very much just, you know, gave the Americans just a much stronger early to mid game and made it a lot harder for the Germans to have any real choices. Of course, the Stuart could very well lock them all down. Right, moving up, they're going to be pushing through the centre. We're going to try and hit the mortar there. Captain being slightly pushed back. Though Findeed needs to be careful not to spread out his forces too thinly, as the Germans are sort of more dependent on combined arms, which all means, of course, he has to sort of work his units better together here. Unclesam here going for the Stuart. Light tank there, the M5A1, and not to be confused with the M3A1, which was also the Stuart tank, but there was a few sort of critical differences, including sloped armour, which the M3A1 did not have, and a better engine. Rather than the 594 two Pioneers. So right here, Unclesam is pushing his fuel edge into a Stuart light tank to lightweight pressure Findeed. I mean, it's still good, just not really good as it used to be. In particular versus infantry, it was very nasty. I mean, it's still good, but again, it just doesn't dominate, and that was sort of the problem with the Stuart. I mean, you could basically sort of get with your head, just solidify and cement the game. If you're behind, it could sort of quickly swing the game back in your favour. That was just how potent the Stuart was. Right here we got the 2-2 on the way there for Findeed. Is he expecting his Stuart? I mean, generally Stuart sort of has fallen off again after the nerfs. I mean, it's not bad, but again, it's just not as amazingly good as it used to be, and that has rather caused a lot of players to just, you know, well, sign it off, because that's how a lot of players tend to operate. If it's not just nearly as good as it used to be, well, not a lot of players would just think, now it's bad. And again, they tend to sort of very much extreme players. Partly because they're also extremely greedy players, and extremely greedy players tend to only go for what, you know, is the very best. Usually because it's overpowered, and then of course if something's no longer overpowered, they tend to just forget it. A bit the same like, you know, with heavy cavalry, you know, combined arms. When it's busted, everybody used it. When it stopped being busted, well, everybody stopped using it. And again, it's also, you know, why to an extent I think just American players have gotten really lazy. You know, again, they need to sort of retrain, need to get better. Need to stop just being lazy. So I mean, it's good to see someone else going back here to the Stuart, you know, trying to explore the game further. That is good. And so far, again, some good flanks there against Findeed, who again struggling, because again, Findeed is just scattering his forces too thinly. Again, as the Wehrmacht, you have to be very careful about doing that. Again, it's a very bad idea. But it's made good progress in the southeast, at least that way, denying Unclesam has some fuel, who's also now going for the ambulance. Troops moving ahead here, healing. In the south, they're going to be engaged by Rifleman, already low in health here versus the Grenadiers. In that regard, the lack of an ambulance has rather benefited Findeed here a bit longer term. Plus, having a medic banker himself has certainly also given Findeed a few edges there. Charging up here. Ooh, these two ships got Intensify store pack for trying to push in here. Rather than closing right again. Heavy cover there. Small chance of wipe there, but not guaranteed there. And there you go. Pack 40 gets to go in the Stuart light tank. Almost got knocked out. This dude just needs to fall back very fast before. Too late. The Pack 40 is left a burning hulk of twisted steel. Here they're going to just need to retreat before the mortar finishes them off there. And Captain is securing points. There you go. Finally retreating there. Now they're going to just go around trying to flank and hit the mortar crew there. Very good work there by Findeed, who's gone for mobile defense, which indicates he's worried about, of course, light vehicles further, or he could be planning a tier 4. I mean, I've seen some players used in that sense mobile offensive sort of as a intermediary, and they then rush for tier 4. Ensuring they have some elements until you get out the Panthers and the likes. We'll have to see if that is what Findeed is actually planning here versus Unclesam. We'll have to see if that is truly Findeed's master plan. Again, Panthers are overall catching on to the Fairmont. Again, not every Fairmont player will go for them, and certainly not in all circumstances, but there's certainly an increase in number of Fairmont players you actually go for, and again, they just don't, immediately lose as it used to be. It's not quite, again, a sort of a big situation. Which again, I think is largely due to, again, light tanks and the AC, they're sort of being slightly low in power level, which again gives the Wehrmacht more room to actually do things in. But there you go, big counter-attack here from Osama bin Laden and, well, Unclesam and the 3rd Armoured Division. There's always got to be those jokes as they choose the most cheeky names there. Mines there in case his tri-star shuts. Something else we got here, Armour Company, so that means M10s and Bulldozer Sherms there. Also Assault Engineers if you were to go for it. Bit rare sight there as well. It certainly could try and counter surprise Findeed with that. Further on, at least besides the Stewart, demo charges. A lot of Wehrmacht players at the moment just don't expect them from the Americans. But again, there seems to be a slight increase in American players actually going for the Assault Engineers, and that way trying to pull off some sneaky tricks. So take up there, Eastern Fuel Victory Point there being secured by Unclesam. And he does go for the Assault Engineers, he does go for them. With their grease guns there, the replacement for the Thompson submachine gun, much lighter and much cheaper and easier to manufacture overall. He either needs to grab back the fuel, he also needs to build up the Suprema Core fast, or if he's planning for tier 4, he needs to take up for it fast. We'll have to see what Findeed is planning for here. This is almost taken up by the mortar. Over here, bigger push here from Unclesam, Assault Engineers, Resurgence and Riflemen. Need to get the infantry to cover up, at least more infantry, but again, Findeed is just perpetually a bit scattered, again, making it hard for him to sort of immediately respond to when Unclesam makes these kind of bigger pushes, like he's doing right over there. And there's so far still no sign of any further tech up or a support car there. Core for Findeed and Fatherland. Losing getting Rifleman here in the west. He's finally forced to retreat as well, leaving his fuel point again undefended there to the Americans. Unclesam they're certainly not taking up. Looks like he's just going to rely on Collins versus his opponent. Going to do retreating. Solving his scoring points. Could he be laying down a demo charge? Yes, indeed, he is laying down a demo charge there by the eastern fuel point. The American demo charge is probably the nastiest one because this is one you least expect. So that is really nasty there by Unclesam. Really nasty. Looks like he's going to set the support core, then roll out some over there versus his opponent. Good work there by Findeed. MD42 there closing in on Veteran 2, and here in the east countries versus Rifleman. Shots fired. And he's pushing back the Rifleman there. And he's reinforcing healing, so Palmer Core going up. And Captain now being shredded here by the MD42 up close, pinned down to the ground. MD42 needs to reposition. One of these pioneers pushing down the eastern side. Small move towards the west. He's probably going to get a nasty surprise there from a demo charging in. No one expects the American demo charge. No one. Pioneers Rifleman got his finding order for some Riflemen. They're holding up behind some planks of wood. And now you can see that Unclesam is very swiftly retreating. No armor choice there yet for Findeed. Looks like he's just going to go for a regular Panzer IV. Got at least versus Assault Engineers in the east. Push down the centre again. He's sort of trying to pressure Unclesam around his car point to the extent it's working out, but it's certainly also not quite without its issues either. He also needs to grab his fuel point back there well. He needs to try and slow down Unclesam there in the sort of tech race as much as possible. So, Panzer IV there, Findeed. There we go. Panzerkampfwagen 4. So he's trying to go for deep flank there and hit the cut off. In this case, to hold it by an M4 200 Grenadier Squad. There, good work by Findeed. And there you go. First tank throw out there for Unclesam. Here's the next target here of Teutonic Wrath. And in these Captain versus parties, you've got some S-mines down there, that's good, but in this case the M10 will swiftly clear it out, using its sheer weight. Panzer IV almost done. Long time out consider investing in a Stug afterwards. The Panzer IV to that way have a better chance there, because most likely Unclesam is going to go for a lot of M10s in that regard. Stugs would be a much better sort of element to actually fight the M10 with. Fun fact. So there you go, Panzer IV, they're in Dunkelgrün. By 1944-45 was definitely discontinued. It would either have been Dunkelgrün early 1944, by late 1944 it would have been not actually Dunkelgelb in the beginning. By the end it was Dunkelgrün or dark green. I mixed up the sort of time period there for the colours. Early on Dunkelgelb or dark yellow, then dark green. Demo charge, it looks like I wiped out a Grenadier squad. Bit of loss there for Findeed. Need to cover the Panzer around the M10. Second Pack 40 out there for Findeed. And the second Panzer Division, Panzer IV, they're blasting at the riflemen. Mortar landing awfully close, but not quite. And there you go, Flammeff adding in some extra pain there to the riflemen. And there we go, immediately calling in a second M10 as soon as possible here for Unclesam and the 3rd Armoured. M10 falling back, their riflemen pushing forwards. Findeed, by the way, could benefit from some Panzer Grenadier. Light machine gun is up as close as the Captain. Going to be pretty risky because the Tomtington allows the Captain here to do a lot of damage very fast, but with the loss of the Captain in the same is what should be able to sweep them away. Big push up for the western hit side here by M10. Damage into the Panzer IV here. Pretty bad for Findeed. He's popping smoke here, trying to buy time. But it's going to be pretty obvious where the Panzer IV is, so it's not going to be too hard for him. Plus, of course, the rifle in the base is spot for it, so that's not quite working out there. Pioneer's being pushed back, rifle pushed back as well. Pack 40 exposed, trying to cover here, and there we go. M10 gets the Panzer IV. A knockout blow there to Findeed's rather so far early Panzerwaffe. He's going to need to quickly fill out the gaps, I think, with Stugs to just have a better chance. He'll also need to support it better. That was another thing issue for Findeed again. He's just too constantly scattered all the time. Not enough combined arms elements. And again, combined arms, the Wehrmacht is critical. As yesterday, say for example, Hand again, you know, single command tank with just a few other elements could actually deal with a lot of things. But again, Findeed is just so consistently scattering his forces that his tanks do not receive infantry cooperation. And that rather lowers the strength there of Findeed's Panzerwaffe. North there, Grenadiers there, Panther fast. He's going to get the M10 in this case though. Unclesam there pushes his luck too far. Much too far. Ooh, M10 got abandoned. You could see it here and turn it against Unclesam. Oh no, Unclesam immediately realizes what's going on there and just calls it in. This is Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. We screwed up. Need artillery on it. Over. And there we go, just immediately calling in here. 250 munitions. He had a lot there, by the way. He should have used some of that munitions on mines or weapons. But by the way, he's expending 250 munitions just to make sure Findeed does not get that tank destroyer. But there you go, Findeed should be able to call in a Stug now, a Stug 3D. Now he calls in another MD42 to help contain some of all of Unclesam's infantry. He needs to get that fuel though. The fatherland needs fuel for its panzers. Pioneers moving down for the fuel pond there. Grenades off. So we've got grenades here for Unclesam's infantry. A good upgrade there, good upgrade. In the west, or east, I mean, Rifle versus Grenadiers, MD42 being pushed back as well there, flamethrower assault units there, threatening that. Now the Rifle up versus a lot of angry Germans, assault is pushing straight to the M42 as well there. But the west side there is being lost for Findeed as the 3rd Armoured just relentlessly pursues. Noting though he has yet to take out for any sort of bigger tanks. Got an M42 now, goes for another Pioneer squad. Interesting choice there for Findeed. I do think he should go for Stug as fast as possible. Grabbing the point. Here we got a demo chance there from Unclesam. And there you go, Bulldozer Sherman out. Technically though, it's just more than 105 mm Sherman, of which they usually I think about 2 per Sherman battalion. They would have been part of the headquarters unit, I believe, or they're sort of going to be attach wherever needed. In that sense, it sort of served the same role a bit like the Stu 42, just sort of specifically to deal with sort of more dug-in elements. So, little fun fact there. Might want to get those these out of the medic bunker. It's something that happens occasionally that's quite close to so much just misclick and then you pop someone into the medic bunker there. Demo chart spotted. Fun fact though about demo charges in the actual war, they had the tendency of course just being unusual, of course, in case they solidified all around it, the cables could be cut and then just be useless. It certainly gave the Germans several times some problems when they tried to blow a bridge, and then it turned out the stuff didn't work. Of course, again, artillery fire something else to just cut the wires. Smoke screen down there, so pushing through the centre. Almost got the bulldozer on there. Bit of bat move by Unclesam in this case again, sending in a tank with no infantry support. Generally, always something you should be not keen on. No further armour there for Findeed or the 2nd Panzer Division. Keine Panzer. Or the stronger shots. There's a thing with the mortar. Oh, got the mortar wipe. Big win there for Findeed. Big win. Silencing Unclesam and the 3rd Armoured Division's artillery, which in this case is just a mortar. Still, considering how powerful the American mortar is, because it's just really, really accurate, it's pretty good. As we grabbed it, lost another unit. We can see all of a sudden here Unclesam is beginning to bleed quite heavily. So that's something he needs to be careful with. And Findeed really again should just get out some Stugs. Or I suppose he could try and take for tier 4 and go for Panthers. But he's actually got the infantry action now to an extent here versus Unclesam, and he's still got to rifle the captain and the assault engineers, but it's slowly sort of waning away then, particularly with all the extra machine guns, plus the mortar here being... that's not going to get away there in this case. He wasn't able to quick retreat on it, happens occasionally, and then he's just taken back there by Unclesam. But at least the veterans he was whacked. That's a small victory there for the German army. Noting Bowie indeed has laid down several telemines here to further try and catch up armor, then prevent them Unclesam from being too aggressive. Another grenade there. Veteran 3 Bowie has extra range, allowing it to. What's actually? I think it's veteran 2 now. Yeah, I think it's veteran. Oh, it's veteran 3. Either way, gives them much more range, but it basically allows you to just throw it really, really far. And we can definitely catch a few players off guard when all of a sudden it goes like across half the map. So there you go, another tank start here for Unclesam. Indeed, still not calling in any armour here. No Stugs, no Panzer IVs, no tag up for Panthers either. There's just the armoured vacuum there so far.
Get ready. The capture point is being overrun.
So what is Findeed planning here with the 2nd Panzer Division? What is he planning? That's the question here. What is Findeed planning? Unclesam though so far does not seem to be planning tack up, so again if indeed were to... there we go, he's going for an Ostwind? Yeah, I was about to say that didn't make a lot of sense considering what's out in the field at the moment. That does not make a lot of sense for Findeed if you were to aim for the Ostwind. Push up through the centre with the assault engineers, they are quickly pushed back there, and there go bulldozers straight to the Pack 40s again. He needs to be more careful again with those bulldozer Shermans. They're not Tiger tanks. Again, they need proper support. Right here, though, we can see Unclesam there's much faster reacted to the imminent potential destruction of his bulldozer Shermans. Goes are a lot more faster force. Now we got a command tank out for Findeed. All of a sudden, there, a curious choice. A curious choice. I mean, it does help versus some of the other elements. It gives us a bit more of an edge there versus all the riflemen, but what is his long-term plan here? What is his end game? His plan towards Endsieg. What is it? Is he planning a take of them for Panthers? We're here with the command tank just to hold things up. Is it Stugs, which can then of course also benefit from the command tank's aura, then be harder to knock out? I mean, that could be a viable idea there for Findeed. So far again there's just no clear. There we go. Got the Pack 40s again. Needs to be more careful around those Pack 40s again. Findeed does seem to be able to handle them quite nicely. We can see a 1 M10 has damaged engine, other one close being knocked out. Pack 40s there pushing in, Grenadiers as well here. And we can see in this case, Unclesam realises the rush there has failed and is quickly trying to pull back the M10 before it's too late.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Looking a bit risky though. But lucky for him, the Pack 40s aren't that fast. And even with a damaged engine, the M10 here is still reasonably speedy. Pushing up, he needs to try and maybe bait away attention from the M10s, basically a diversion assault to save his tank destroyers. Bold move there by Unclesam, but in this case though, looks like it's not going to work out. In this case, Findeed has set his sights on the tank destroyers, decided they are the bigger threat, and he's willing to suffer a few losses to knock that bloody thing out. There we go, M10 blown apart, left cooking with the crew ejected. Well, the crew in the turret, the crew actually driving it, the poor bastard is dead. Still no sign of tech up. Is it Panzer Force? Is it Dukes? Findeed's strategy is certainly looking a bit vague here at the moment. Unclear. Command train there closing in Veterans 1. Boulders Germany knocked out again. Need to be careful. Again, the Dog Pack 40 is a potent thing there. Calling in artillery again here against Findeed. M10 looks to be flanking in. There's the command tank there. And again, needs to be careful around the two anti-tank guns. Seems like right here, Unclesam is committing a repeated error there versus Findeed, and that is getting Findeed's anti-tank guns quite a field though, and now he actually loses both of them, which is in fact very bad for Findeed. On the other hand, he's got a much larger force now than Unclesam here, whose infantry has actually been quite depleted. He actually needs to replenish and replace some of those losses, because ours long term is not going to last. I mean, he's lost a lot of tank destroyers, he's lost Bulldozer Germans, he's lost infantry. I mean, that is something he needs to be a bit careful with here, because it starts, line of losses to keep up. Then meanwhile though, Findeed is also replacing losses, gets the command tank though, slightly evening things out. He's also got some of the infantry, and you can see Findeed's actually forced to use Ostrom to flesh out the gaps in his ranks. So both players have actually taken quite a thrashing from each other. 33 versus 44 command points, so both players have been bloodied severely. But neither player has been knocked out of this war. Ostrom down the west side here with light machine guns. The other Ostrom squad is securing territory then behind the lines. Careful with it, Alexander. If the Americans come and it's not ready, we will all die. Also far from the flamethrowers, we've got troops reinforcing healing. So now though, he does have a bit of an extra versus any further armor Findeed can call up, because he's got double pack 4s. I mean, just as they, quite devastated Unclesam's armor, the double pack 4s can also really make a mess of Findeed's tanks and panzers. Still no sign of further take-up, so it looks like Tier 4 is definitely out of Findeed's plans. Nothing further for him either. No Panzer IV, Stutes or Ostvins, no nothing. And certainly no sign of take-up either there for Unclesam. Again, no regular Germans, no Scots. Also, they're slightly shifting back from these M42 being right in the centre. Their victory point wise, it's rather equal between the two. And there we go, we got M42 sneak up on the eastern field. If indeed they're ever having his eye on more than one ball at a time. Which is why Findeed back in school was always known as Two Balls Findeed. No, he wasn't. Actually, he might have been, but I don't know if it was actually called Two Balls Findeed. Calling in a Puma is a very peculiar choice right now for Findeed. Very peculiar. I mean, it can be useful if the opponent just keeps going for M10s. The Puma has sort of a chance of fighting against it due to better range. But that's about it. I mean, against the Pack 40s, the Puma is pretty rubbish, though. Since the Puma will very quickly burst into flames. Oh, we got a captain there rushing forward. Straight into the bench in the free MD42. Unclesam was not expecting that. Goddamn Krauts! They were waiting for us. It was an ambush. Well, they're charging the grenadiers here. Obergefreiter. Dimitri there moving his Ostrom squad ahead there. And making sure Alexander holds his machine gun sufficiently well. Fun fact, Ostrom actually had their own medals. Well, technically not medals, just small strips of cloth, but they actually had their sort of own bits like that. Sort of denote good behaviour and all that. Little fun fact. Little fun fact. Also, the numerous types of Ostrom. They also had Ostcavalry. You know, Ostcavalry, which is usually sort of made up, I think, of Cossacks and the likes, amongst other things. Those chaps that usually sort of served as part of police units. Grenade off against the Ostrom, doesn't quite hit. Puma just hanging back again. I think he's just waiting for the M10. But so far, Uncle Sam is not committing to it either. He's going for another Puma here. I really think Findeed would have benefited more from the Stoogs. Instead, he's just going for a lot of Pumas, and then he's doing nothing with those Pumas. But there you go. Got the M10 tank destroyer out here for Uncle Sam. And looks like that was an accidental discharge there. Don't worry, Fritz. It happens to all of sometimes. Just, you know, keep your hand off the button next time, yeah? Can't afford to refill those things all the time. It's quite expensive, you know. Smoke doesn't come easy. Smoke doesn't come easy. Telemines there, sneaky set up there by Findeed. Puma's still not reeling themselves, really. They're just hanging back there, remaining an unknown threat to Uncle Sam. Tech 40 is hanging back. Rather than suppressed by the MD-42, 16 kills for Germany. Smoke's been off actually right on the telemine, unknowingly, right on the telemine. Puma still doing nothing there. I think he's trying to establish a proper screen before rushing the Pumas ahead here. In which case, that's very tactically sensible. You know, again, don't just rush in the M10s blind and send ult ensure they can't just get hit by infantry. There you go. Sparks the anti-tank guns, knowing whether they are allowed to against the Pumas, with the, or the M10 with the Pumas, much more aggressively. And there you go. Two 50mm guns there. One bounces, one penetrates the M10's armor there. Findeed by now in much stronger map control situation here versus his opponent. He could still consider taking out for Panthers. Or just go for Panther Force from Stoogs. Uncle Sam there should, I think, also consider taking up by now. Shermans here would help a lot more, I think, versus the Pumas, or maybe a Jackson tank destroyer, the M36. Rather there's an MD-42 Grenadiers there. Pushing ahead, smoke screen down. Quickly suppressed. Nice smoke there by Uncle Sam. In this case, the Grenadiers should be able to push them away there, unless he gets off a grenade. Setting up toward the centre, we got Panzer Grenadier now for Findeed. Panzer Grenadier. Smoke lifts, line in forward to the firing at the rifle and finish them off here. Assault is still flanking in, good work. And turn setting up. Puma still not really doing much there for Findeed. Again, maybe just been better off taking for a Puma. I guess using that a bit more aggressive than he's currently doing his Pumas. Alright, Panther is the Puma. Need to retreat the MD-42 perhaps soon enough. Oh, we got Ostrom flanking in there. Anti-tank at this one. We got the Pumas moving up as well. Need to clear out the anti-tank before we can send in the Pumas. He could do that by flanking the Grenadiers behind here. More to push back in the west by Ostrom squad there. Panzer Grenadier moving forwards as well, but much farther east. Much, much farther east. Captain charging into the Ostrom, pushing them away.
We're at 200 points.
Goes to reinforcing. Captain pushing out the west. Overall for D9, much stronger situation again. Intensifying out there. He could do with some machine gun bunkers in there to further make it harder for Uncle Sam to try and take territory and sort of push back. Command tank out there. 4. Findeed's another Befehl's Panzerwagen. His support core ends up feeling rather underutilized by Findeed though. Seems rather underutilized. Grenadiers versus Rifleman there. Panzer joining. Command tank Puma there. Bad situation for Rifleman. They have to retreat very fast. And there you go in the south breakthrough here. We'll have to see how long it lasts. Captain moving west is there to hit the fuel. Uncle Sam still refusing to take up. He's just very much committed to the call-in, but as we can see here, the call-in doctrine or call-in plan sort of runs into some issues when your opponent actually does take up, sort of counter a bit. In this case, you know, does end up going for his own call-ins, but you know, at least he did just rely on it solely. So there you go, Captain Rush back here. So running. Demo charges down there, again, good work by Uncle Sam, good work. Hitting the western points here. Not so much going on there. Uncle Sam just floating a lot of fuel, can't really utilise it, he's suffering too much. Again, he's just committing to too many, you know, head-on assaults. He's trying to find a good weak spot there and then headed with a more sort of precise assault, and that way unhinging Findeed. The problem is the way he's sort of kind of doing, he's just frittering away over a lot of manpower against Findeed without really making any noticeable dents in Findeed's forces, and that just means, you know, Findeed just sort of long-term is more likely to win because he just, you know, has more efficient resource usage and just, you know, maintains a better balance. And again, can just use them more efficiently if he wants to, though. So far, he seems a bit less carrying here than Uncle Sam in some ways. Well, more carrying than him, but not by a lot. Command to him about firing its 75mm cannon. Trying to blast apart the cap, but so far not landing any sort of actual hits that actually, you know, do the trick. Puma's running about. They haven't really done a lot for Findeed, to be honest. I mean, that is still 160 manpower of fuel. He could easily, you know, take up and build a heavy panzer core for those resources, and by now going for a Panther. So, you know, I mean, again, they've really done nothing. So, again, he could easily just have gone for a Panther instead. And probably been more aggressive with that one, and certainly put more pressure on Uncle Sam with that one. Uncle Sam, they're now going for infantry. That is good, but overall, his sort of battle plan here has not really changed. Has not really changed. And that, you know, again, overall just means, again, Findeed sort of more easily sees him through and just more easily locks it down because, again, he's in a position of strength. So rather, again, what Uncle Sam needs to do is sort of re-evaluate his tactics, his approach, and trying to, again, look for a weak spot and then launching an overwhelming assault that way, trying to catch Findeed off very guard, causing huge damage, and then sort of really punching through. But again, he's just committed to a, you know, overall more obvious strategy here, which again is obviously a lot easier for Findeed to counter. That's definitely something that Uncle Sam needs to change up soon before it's too late. Still nothing there for Findeed. Slightly hoping he tries to take for a Panther. You know, I mean, again, he's just flowing so many resources. Again, the way he's used the Pumas, I mean, he might as well just gone for a Panther. They're hitting decent resources. We can see that points are bleeding out there for Uncle Sam. They are bleeding out fast. Rather than the strange to the MD42 there. Pushed back there, grabbing the western victory point. Sending the Pumas eastwards. Need to fix up that command tank, but that's alright. It's not a big deal there for Findeed, I think, in the current environment. Cannon being pinned down. More pioneers for Findeed. You got the punching wheel pushing forwards. Smoke screen down there.
We've dropped to 100 points.
Big suppression there. Pack 40 wipe. Really looking bad here for Uncle Sam by now. Down to less than 100 victory points. Again, just overall, tactically, he's just not really doing a lot different. Again, he's just constantly bashing his head there against the wall that it currently is Findeed. And Findeed is, like most walls, not really giving way, just only succeeding in giving Uncle Sam's forces here quite the concussion. I mean, there's slightly more flank now again. Successfully wipes against this guy, and this is what he should be doing instead of just again blasting his way through by sheer force and, you know, hate. Oh, he's about to lose the captain there. He didn't grab the light machine gun. He doesn't have resource for a grenade. He could have smoked. So right here again, parts are falling back. But again, this is where he should have, in the larger part of his effort again, more successfully broken through Findeed, flanking that way, heading up through here. But instead, he just sort of assaults again, head-on assaults here, which again much more costly. And as you can see, not really getting him anywhere. So it definitely feels like a larger mistake there by Unclesam. Again, one of those repeated ones. Again, sort of those patterns certain players tend to fall into. As the certain hit up part of the game, again, they just sort of stop considering the flank, and they just sort of get completely caught up in frontal assaults as the game just sort of wears on. And that's really just currently to Findeed's advantage. Unclesam going from one again. There's just an absolute refusal of taking up. No anything else there for him. And that again, Findeed's very much got the edge. Again, he's sort of got the good position. Again, he's got an opponent who at this point again just sort of hit that wall breaker stage here, which again a lot of players tend to hit, and that's just really benefiting Findeed amazingly. The Pumas do feel like a waste there for Findeed. They do feel like a waste, and again, they could easily just gone for a Panther instead of probably just finish the fire off faster versus Unclesam there, to be honest. Unit white, fleeing for a drop. Head for to get a good hit there on the M10. Pushing up the eastern side again. As you can see, if indeed overall just getting better sort of understanding the map and just where to hit. Whereas again, Unclesam is just always looking for the head-on confrontation. Even when it's not really his advantage and he can't afford it, he's obsessed with it. Again, he's in the wall banger stage, if you will. 33 points left there for Unclesam. Then with chance wipes most of the Pentagon is leaving only poor Heinz still alive. And death on Ronnie here. Same the Pumas in the field with the M10. None of them hit though, none of them hit. There we go. Fourth shot there. Land successfully powerfully on from right here by the veteran 3 MB42. 27 kills there for the fatherland. 27 kills. There's some push back here, but the Panthers would have got the info 2 moving in as well.
Allied AT gun has been destroyed.
Tank 40 there wide. .30 points left. Need to get the centre victory point. Need to go on the eastern one. He's also lost a bit the western and a bit more aggressive harassment there for Unclesam. But it's too little too late at this stage, really. It's too little too late. Again, it's all just not really upsetting Findeed's force composition or his force positioning, which again just makes it overall temporary. Any gains Unclesam there makes, and again because it's overall just not changing what he's doing overall. Again, it's just not really any long-term gains he makes because he just sort of falls back to the usual pattern, which again is just wasteful. He needs to change the status quo rather than just temporarily just tipping it slightly to the side. I mean, it'll just quickly fall back into it because it's just got so much inertia behind it by now. So he needs a lot more, mass in the right spot to really throw it off. But again, the way he's doing it, he just can't push Findeed off.
We're down to 10 points, damn it.
9 points left, 6 points left. 3 points left. And GG, game over. A victory for Findeed and the 2nd Panzer Division. Unclesam there, while standing up well, they sort of fell into the pan again. The wall banger pattern ultimately again. Also too much doctoral call-in. There's an opponent who actually could be able to count it thanks to the good use of Pack 40s, and Unclesam was just, failing to take it seriously. Again, he was already there sort of moving into the wall banger stage. And again, you have to be really careful about him. Again, at some point, you just need to have some mental awareness to realise, when you're just, throwing away men on pointless head-on assaults. Had he just realised that, I think Unclesam would have had a much better chance because he just kept throwing away there. Findeed, while on the other hand, played a lot more smartly, a lot more aware of the rest of the map, was able to just slowly but surely outmaneuver Unclesam, wear him down, take up good position. That would just completely grind down Unclesam there. So that's really the thing you have to avoid then. Again, had Unclesam just had a more tactical flexibility there, mental strategic flexibility. I think you can actually won this. Also, they should have teched up and gone for some tanks, the regular kind. Also some BLs in the weapon, but also benefit Unclesam quite a bit. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, want to subscribe to the friends, share it with everyone. And if you like what I do consider donating by PayPal or pledging on Patreon. Links in the video description. You can also find a link to send in your replays. This is Imperial Dane signing off. See you all tomorrow for another signing episode. Bye.